Hello friends. Today we will tell you an amazing love story that shocked the world. We'll talk about Marie Curie and Paul Langevin, two great scientists whose discoveries changed the world. Marie Curie was the first female scientist to receive a Nobel Prize, and Paul Langevin was a famous physicist. Their passion for science was as strong as their passion for each other. Their affair caused a scandal in society, and they faced misunderstanding and condemnation. But they did not stop, continuing their research and struggle for science. Their discoveries in radioactivity changed the world, but their personal lives were filled with tragedy and struggle. We invite you to learn about their amazing story in our video. Enjoy watching. Don't forget to sign and click on the bell. Marie Curie, born in Poland, moved to Paris to study, and there she met her love, Pierre Curie. Together they discovered radium and polonium, for which Maria received 2 Nobel Prizes in physics and chemistry. They created the Curie Institutes in Paris and Warsaw, where they continued their research. During World War I, Maria used X-ray machines to help the wounded. They had 2 daughters. Despite the difficulties, Marie Curie became a symbol of perseverance and dedication to science. Marie Curie lost her husband, Pierre Curie, in 1906 in an accident. Pierre died under the wheels of the cart, and this was a huge blow for Maria. Marie and Pierre Curie were an ideal married couple. They were not only loving spouses caring for their 2 daughters, but also like-minded people, colleagues in work that brought them the Nobel Prize in physics. But their happiness was shattered by tragedy. He was only 46 years old. However, she did not lose heart, but, on the contrary, decided to devote herself to work and science with even greater zeal. She became the first woman professor at the Sorbonne and continued her research in the field of radioactivity. Her work was rewarded with a 2nd Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1911, recognizing her outstanding contributions to science. Maria continued to fight for her ideals and became an inspiration to many women, proving that willpower and perseverance can overcome any difficulties. Maria was depressed for a long time. She wrote letters to him, the deceased. "I work in the laboratory all day long, the only thing I am able to do." But she, alive, could not bury the woman inside herself. During these difficult times, Paul Langevin supported her. Paul was young, 5 years younger than Maria, handsome and energetic. They had known each other for a long time. Paul was Pierre's assistant and his talented student. The 3 of them were connected by science. Working on new projects and discoveries, they became closer to each other. 4 years after the death of Pierre, Marie Curie and Paul Langevin were bound by love. Maria took off her mourning. She again experienced the happiness of loving and being loved. But this love also brought pain. An affair broke out between Paul and Marie, despite the fact that Paul was married and had 4 children. The pain was the inability to be together. At the insistence of his wife, who learned about Paul's relationship with Maria, the Langevin family moved to Brittany. Maria expected Paul to leave his family, but he did not succeed. His wife created all sorts of obstacles. Loving Paul and Maria wrote tender letters to each other about love and looking forward to meeting. They tried to hide their relationship from society, but their love letters were stolen. Alas, one of the letters fell into the hands of Paul's jealous wife, and the relationship between Maria and Paul became public. The letter was published in print. Maria was subjected to national censure because she, a Polish woman, she was also called either a Jew or a Russian, dared to destroy the French family. Scandals were created for her on the street, threatening her and her daughters with reprisals. Maria was denied approval for the title of academician. She was advised not to travel to Stockholm to receive a 2nd Nobel Prize, for fear of the scandal spreading. But Maria decided not to give up. She attended the meeting of the Nobel Committee and received the prize. She continued to write letters to Paul. "I must have particularly strong ties with you, since I decided to defend them, risking my position and life. Although I have so many important obligations that must be fulfilled." Quote, Marie Curie was attacked and insulted because of her immorality and nationality. She was Polish, spoke Polish and taught children Polish. In addition, she named her new discovery polonium, in honor of Poland. Marie was accused of destroying the Langevin family, of violating morality and of betraying France. Her home was besieged by a mob, her daughters were threatened at school, and she was even forced to leave France to avoid persecution. What did Paul do? He behaved courageously. He challenged the newspaper men to a duel. Fortunately, there were no casualties in the duel, separated from his wife, and gained the right to visit his children. The fact that he was a courageous man is evidenced by his later life. During the Second World War, Paul Langevin was a member of the underground resistance movement in France and bravely endured torture by the Gestapo. Maria was not broken, but her health was deteriorating. The stress she experienced forced Maria to undergo long-term treatment in a private clinic. Only after 14 months was she able to return to work. Paul is tired of rushing between love and duty. They continued to communicate, but only on official matters. Maria put on black again. Marie also received support from fellow scientists such as Einstein, Planck, Rutherford and others. She continued her research on radioactivity and put it into practice, especially during World War I, when she developed mobile X-ray machines to diagnose wounded soldiers. The love story of Marie Curie and Paul Langevin was not only romantic, but also scientific. They made a huge contribution to the development of physics and chemistry, discovered new elements and the phenomenon of radioactivity, received worldwide recognition and awards, and helped many people with their discoveries. They were also brave and principled people who were not afraid to fight for their love and their science, despite all the obstacles and opposition of society. Human destinies are sometimes intricately intertwined. Many years later, Pierre and Maria's granddaughter, Helen, married Paul's grandson, Michel. Helene, a professor of nuclear physics in Paris, goes by Helene Langevin-Joliot. Thank you for being with us until the end. You can watch other videos on the channel dedicated to science, history and biographies of outstanding personalities. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and click on the bell so you don't miss new videos. See you.